Complicate matters, according to Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey. The prosecution has lost contact with one of the alleged victims and can't locate her. Legal experts say no-shows add stress to trials and only build on what's already a high-stakes, intense trial. Once the jury is finalized, we expect opening statements on Monday. The trial could last up to 2 months if Sean Diddy Combs is convicted on all charges, which include racketeering, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and sex trafficking. He faces a mandatory 15 years in prison and could remain there for life. Kevin?
15 years. Wow. It's pretty incredible. I mean, what a fall. I mean, from a guy who was obviously one of the most popular moguls in all of music. We'll see how it all turns out. Jeff Paul for us. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. For more, we want to bring in criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. Jeff makes a great point. 15 years, an awful long time on this beef. The argument being, however, Brian, that some of it's he said, she said. Some of it the Fed is claiming to have material that the defense says is not just positive.
Hey, Kevin, great to see you.
You too.
As a defense lawyer, the first thing that I do when I'm in a jury trial like this is you look at the elements of the crime, right? Because all you have to do for the jury is disprove one of the elements of each of the charges. Let's start with this racketeering, Kevin. It's basically the prosecutors have to prove what's called a criminal enterprise, meaning that P. Diddy had bad boy records and used that company, for example, to recruit, coerce, abuse, and have sexual acts with women without their consent. Now, the problem with that charge, Kevin, is where are the cohorts? Conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, basically. You've got to prove that PD had an agreement with former employees, other executives to carry out these sexual acts. There were no other defendants indicted, no former employees indicted. So how is the prosecution going to prove that? So that's a challenge for the prosecutors on the RICO charge, the racketeering. Then you look at sex trafficking, right? Most of us in this country, when we hear sex trafficking, we think of, a young girl or a young woman that's kidnapped. She's kept for months. Nobody knows where she is, and she's forced to carry out sex acts for a profit, right?
Right.
And those are the elements, Kevin. And look, you need victims to prove that crime. The prosecution's got to have victims coming in. They just lost a victim. Victims got to come in and say, yes, I was coerced, I was exploited, I was manipulated and forced to carry out these sex acts for money. So these are not easy charges to prove, Kevin.
And it's